Yes, 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 yes.
Ooh, what up?
Oh, we got some stuff.
Yep. As you may know, we live again. Last show was recorded. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
Man, we live, man.
Loud and clear.
All right. I was kind of like listening to myself, and I'm like, oh no, I don't hear the feedback like I need to. But hey, we live again. We got Kam Gee in the house. Kam Gee, the coolest.
What's up with it, man? What's up with it? What's up with it?
We have LT in the house, China Kid.
What up? What up?
And we have Strap in the house. And we have another episode 22. Well, that was the wrong one. It was supposed to be some hand claps. Still getting a whole feel of this soundboard, but hey.
Trial and error, brother.
Trial and error. So, fellas, another weekend of fights. What's the dealio?
Oh man, you wanna talk about that Mayweather?
Oh yeah,
that Mayweather Gotti.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. Who even remember that he was fighting last weekend?
Strap.
Yeah, exactly.
It was on my calendar of fights that were happening on the 24th of August. So,
was there even anything like on the undercard? Like
Camaro Moulton.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got a 55-second knockout. So,
yeah, 55 seconds.
Hey, he's good. The boy's good.
Like, is he 16? Well, how old is he? I know he's a teenager. 18.
He's still very young. Yeah, so he made light work of somebody. And I mean, we didn't get to see nothing of it. 55 seconds, the fight's over.
You blink, you missed it. Yeah, like before we even get to this Mayweather Gotti, we talked last week about Abdullah Mason. Then you hear of Camaro Moulton and then we have Emilio Vargas. Am I saying his name right? Emilio Vargas. Forgive me, my Hispanic people, if I'm not saying the last name right. You know how I do. But yeah, we have these young talent, you know, coming up and raising up in the light and junior lightweight division, and it's looking good. You know, talk about Mason, 20 years old, Vargas, 20 years old, and then you have Martin, who's 18. What do you guys think?
It just let you know that boxing has a future, an exciting future, because a lot of these guys are very explosive, very likable, which is, you know, we're talking entertainment in the fight game. So a lot of it is just making the fights and making people want to buy the fight. So you get to know the right type of fighters that are young, exciting, likable, you know, we have interesting backgrounds, and, you know, people like us will be tuning in and talking about it every week. So I think it's in great hands. So, you know, getting Moulton on an exhibition like this is cool. But at the same time, I would have loved to have had a lot more notice about him fighting on a card like that. And that's with us, you know, our fight calendar. For me, I think it just really slipped by me, the whole exhibition. And then I know we'll get into the fight itself, but yeah, I was just excited that these young guys are still getting opportunities on these undercards, so we can see them and we can talk about them and we can become fans of them.
Right, and so we call these prospects, right?
Right.
And so they're kind of sneaking up there. I feel bad for you know, you got people like, you know, Rashidi Ellis and was it Troy Isley? You know, these guys are kind of getting lost in the sauce right now. But those are other prospects on the come up too. So, you know, it's some names out there that we got to look forward to that are trying to break in. You know, it's kind of logged right now. Like, you know, Canelo's the guy,
right?
You know, and everybody else is jockeying for position. So like after Canelo, there's like this huge log to me. Everybody's trying to jockey for that position. And
you're talking about like just the face of boxing or like, you know, just that cash cow. Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, who's gonna take that mantle when Canelo got what, 2-3 fights left?
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. You know, this is why Mayweather is even doing it. He's dragging it out. He's fixing fights in Mexico.
If Canelo he's king of the hill, so he gets to choose who he wants to give that blessing to. So I think Canelo may have like 2-3 more years in him.
Boy.
Like I always feel like the fans have to clamor for the fights that we want. It just hasn't been loud enough for Canelo versus a Benavidez, but Benavidez had to move up. So, you know,
that's been since we started this show. Strap, you know.
Yeah, you've been calling for this fight. Yeah.
Right. I think a lot of people have been, but it just when the pressure is just you can't. It's insurmountable. Like you cannot go anywhere without somebody talking about this fight. I don't think it ever got to that level with Canelo Benavidez.
I think it's because his colt. He has a colt.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's it.
And they buy whatever.
He has a whole country. I
don't know.
I got a buffer. It kind of shields him from that demand of, hey, I want this fight, and that's it.
Right.
Because he's fighting in Berlanga here on the 14th, I believe.
Talking about that fight, and we'll get back to this Mayweather Gotti too, but talking about that Berlanga fight, there's always something about Mexico versus Puerto Rico, you know? Like that clash is always a clash, you know, and historically it's created great fights. And Puerto Rico is a small island, but they love their boxing. They are a boxing nation. Don't get it twisted. With Canelo, I mean, he has conditioned me and everybody else to expect something every Cinco de Mayo. He has conditioned us to expect at least 3 fights. What does he average? 3 fights a year or 2 fights?
Two. It's about 2. Once in May and once in September.
Yeah, so
he's calling the Mayweather.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Cinco de Mayo and then Mexican Independence Day.
So with that being said, how sustainable is not, because he's now becoming predictable to me. I'm not saying I saw him choosing Berlanga, but I knew he was not gonna fight Benavidez, right? And I'm not trying to skip over Berlanga. It's a fight. We'll see what happens. But after that fight, what's his demand outside Mexico? What we know what we want. We want the Benavidez fight. I don't want the Charlo fight anymore. That happened in. We want. Do you still want the Bud fight?
Now I could see that potentially happening, just because people are, if he's truly looking for that legacy fight, you know, that big money fight to get the attention, because I can see one of those things where people become just apathetic to what Canelo does, but he cashing checks regardless. So I don't think for him it's something where he's like, I'm trying to get the fans what they want. He's like, I'm trying to get the biggest bag, take the least amount of punishment. But there's a possibility, depending on the type of performance he puts on, that a fight with Bud becomes a lot more interesting, and people are like, yeah, let me see what they're talking about, and then you get the people talking about it. I mean, because after Berlanga, I don't know if we're really going to see something that we really want. Like, we didn't want this fight. We didn't want the John Ryder fight.
No.
It's like, okay, man.
One of his sparring partners, like, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah. We not trying to see that, and you it's just like you're holding the boxing hostage right now, which is why exhibitions get made. Like Jake Paul, like people hate on him, but he's putting on great undercards too. That's the only thing I would have wished with Mayweather Gotti was that if you're gonna do these fights that have no implications, at least give these guys that we want to see as. I mean, we're American fight fans. We want to see some of these guys on the undercard. Like I know, just look at peeking ahead with the Jake Paul Tyson, which is now exhibition. Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor are fighting their rematch, and that's a huge platform. So you kind of take a circus show, but you create some real implications behind people having to tune into the fight, which is why someone like Jake Paul, I'm always like, man, look at what he's doing as far as putting an event together. Like you'll tune into the undercard and will be locked in because they're entertaining. The characters are entertaining. I would say characters. The fighters are entertaining. Everything around it is getting you, invested into the night of action. And that's the only thing I wish I would have saw different with the Mayweather. Just put some of these guys on we want to see.
Is that because Moulton is his camp?
Yeah.
So did he showcase? So did he showcase his camp throughout the night leading up?
It was a bunch of Mexican fighters, local fighters. I think there was even another exhibition on that card as well. So it's a big deal, Strap got that sound effect, but that's ultimately, that's kind of what it was.
Yeah. And I don't know. He could have put Alicia Baumgartner on that card or somebody.
Yeah. Somebody. We would have tuned in. And then during the fight, he kicks the referee out. Like, I've never seen that. He actually removed an official from the contest and brought in another one because he didn't like him breaking him for it was like a punch behind the head. Yeah, it was a punch behind the head.
I guess we can talk about the actual fight now.
Man, come on, that's it happened.
I found out last week that Gotti, the third, I believe, is a real fighter. Like, he's a real professional fighter. Yeah. That's crazy.
He's 2-0.
So part of the controversy was that it was too many rounds, and so Gotti was like, what's going on? The rounds ran over like 3 rounds straight. They ran over instead of ending at 2 minutes. So
that's insane. But for Floyd to get an official removed from the fight is wild. Like that's crazy. That's different. That's different. He is Money Mayweather for a reason.
And I think the biggest highlight of that fight night is him and Julio Chavez. That was fire. I kind of
after the fight.
After the fight, yes.
I've never
seen Floyd like that. I've never seen Floyd in like starstruck mode. Like, yo, this is the guy. Yeah. Right? Floyd is usually he'll let folks know, yo, he's that guy.
Right.
The way he was like praising Chavez with superlatives, calling all sorts of legends, and I'm like, yo, this is dope. I've never seen Floyd do that. I've seen Floyd talk to many legends, and I've seen how he interacts with other legends, not calling him the GOAT. He's kind of he's a very prideful dude, but he did that with Julio Chavez. I was like, yep, salute. I like that.
Yeah. I think Mayweather should do more of that, when other fighters come up, give them their flowers. I think he just feels very defensive about his 50-0 record. But a great fighter is a great fighter in any era.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wins or losses, it's great fighter is great fighter. So it's just good to see that mutual respect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys. I think I've heard LT has shared this with me. Who is your GOAT, Kam Gee? And LT, I know who your GOAT is, but just bring it back again. We talked about this a while back. Who's your GOAT?
My GOAT is Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones, my favorite of all time, just because of the era that I grew up in. And I got to see the career, just nobody, one of a kind fighter, very much one of a kind. He's a trendsetter, like people emulate his style, but nobody can do what he did. So I think we see a modern day version of it in our guy from across the pond. What do we call it? What's his name? Whitaker?
Ben Whitaker.
So he's that's the closest thing we've seen since Roy Jones Jr. But
just like stylistically, just and very unorthodox. And,
absolutely. But
I can see that.
I mean, and then moving up across weight classes, he challenged himself, and probably absolutely held on too long, obviously.
He did.
But I remember him at his height, and for that, the end of it didn't really matter too much to me because he was able to do it across multiple weight classes and do it his way. So.
Right. He was a rapper. He was a Jordan athlete. You know what I'm saying? He was, it's just phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. That is still on my playlist in the gym.
Right, absolutely.
Y'all must have forgot.
Headbangers.
Head body bangers.
Head body in the head. That's still on there.
He really had a hit, though. He had hits.
No, he had hits. Multiple. He had hits. So he was in the ring killing it, outside making hits. Jordan athlete, I can't really.
He wrapped himself into the ring one fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, come on, man.
He performed his own song as the intro.
Or like you hear fighters saying, I overexerted myself on the ring entry. I'm like, bro, he was rapping.
Yeah, my headgear, my costume was too heavy.
It was.
That was
I
wild.
ghosted myself.
Yeah, man. He's not giving those. But for me, I'm a big Marvin Hagler fan. Just the mentality, the commitment to the training, the dedication, never being out of shape, being able to fight in multiple styles, having his own creativity and flair in the ring. Very well-rounded. I love Marvin Hagler. And that's I love a lot of fighters, but it's just I'll go around with guys, and Marvin Hagler will always come up, to the top as far as guys that I really enjoy. Southpaw, switch hitter. I mean, he had to say fights as an orthodox stance guy just to get fights early on in his career because they didn't want to fight a southpaw as dangerous as him. So, man, I really feel like he's one of the greatest fighters to ever live. And that's somebody I just feel like I try to. When I'm coaching guys, I always try to reference Marvin Hagler because a lot of it has to do with the mentality, though.
Right.
Because there's guys that had, just unbelievable talent like Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
I think Marvin Hagler had to really work on his craft. Not to say any of these fighters don't, but he showed a way of working for it. I think if you really dive into your mind, you can, strive to achieve that. So Marvin Hagler, hands down.
Yeah, that both your goats are legendary goats. I think both of your goats, it's. I have to say there are subjective goats, meaning you like their styles, right? That's you, and I could tell from each other. You're both your personalities. I could tell why you like them, right? Because the Flash, the unorthodox to the tough guy. Who's Hagler, just a tough, mentally strong person, loves the deep waters. He's like a shark pulling you down, to see what you're made of. But really and truly, with your expertise, Kam and LT, I think we've seen a lot of boxing. It's unfair to even choose one GOAT. You have to have generational GOATs, right?
Yeah.
If I told you who brought me into watching boxing, I was a casual because of my dad. It was Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
He pulled me into boxing, right?
Absolutely.
Was he my GOAT? Maybe he was my GOAT because he was box office, right? It was not like my dad was an Ali person, and you can't tell him anything about anybody better than Ali, right? But as I started to understand fighting back in the day, Prince Nassim became my GOAT. Like I was like 13. There was a British fighter called Prince Nassim. If you guys remember him, he used to come up
with the dance.
Flamboyant.
His entry
he's with the
legendary. He had a flying carpet. He would do the whole thing. I wanted to be entertained, right? And then my dad watches boxing for real. He had videos of VHSs because we were hours in front of, hours ahead of the United States according to time zone. So we had to, fights would happen like at 3 a.m. in the morning or 4. So my dad would record them on TV, right? And I watched Parnell Whitaker. 94. And I'm like, who is this guy? And why am I not touching him? Why is he the Matrix movie? Why is he just so good at reading where the punch is coming from? Like, why is he so good? And I like Sweet Pea, right? Never really my GOAT, but anyways, long story.
I think that's Max Kellerman's favorite fighter is Parnell Whitaker.
Parnell. So I loved him. I like that fighter, but still I was kind of pulled in by marketing. So Tyson was still my guy. So I would say my GOAT was Tyson in the beginning, Prince Nassim because of the antics and just the funny. He was a good fighter too, but he was entertaining. And then now, Floyd Mayweather is my GOAT because for the longest I wanted to not like him. And Floyd reminds me of Kobe. I saw Floyd growing up. I saw Floyd becoming a man. I remember Pretty Boy. Like I remember that's Roger's nephew. I don't remember Senior. Like I don't remember Roger. So if you remember, we all in the same group. We saw Floyd really grow up, bro. Like we saw Floyd from him where he flipped the switch when he fought Ricky Hutton, the British guy, and destroyed him. To him fighting, the Miguel Cotto. Like I became him fighting Zab Judah, fighting Mosley.
Zab Judah. Zab Judah was that was turning the corner right there.
Diego Corrales.
Diego Corrales
was messing with him at the time.
And then I was like, okay. And then he became that villain arc. When he was in his villain arc stages, Pretty and Money. Then he stopped being like the young face to the evil guy, and everybody was cussing him out.
It was a sombrero, man. When he came out, Cinco de Mayo, it went through the roof after that.
Yeah.
Like that was.
And Floyd, now that I understand boxing, I just appreciate Floyd so much. But people that did not experience that the same way people that never experienced Kobe don't remember we grew up with Kobe. I grew up with Kobe being talked about in high school. Like I grew up with Kobe taking Brandy to the prom. It sounds, I don't want to date myself. He's older than me, but I remember just being a fan of a kid who was like about 10 years or 8 years older than me, called Kobe Bryant. And that's why it's so hard for me to let go of that and let LeBron in. And it's just the same way with Floyd Mayweather. Like I grew up with Floyd but anyways, long story short, Floyd is my GOAT, and it's just different generations brought different fighters to me because of nostalgic reasons. But that's fire. I remember the Roy Jones Jr. era. He reminds me of, if I compare him to basketball, Iverson. The streets loved Roy Jones. He was very unconventional. I remember when he fought Lights Out, Tony. And I was like, they're gonna beat Jones. Like he's too small, like all that stuff. And what he did to Tony was legendary. And I love Tony.
And that's one of my favorites too. That's one of my favorites.
And he used to fight with his hands down. And my dad would tell me, that's how you don't fight. You don't fight like that. It's always, shell up, or cover up, or, LT will say, put the telephone to your ear, keep Roy was just, and then hearing as time went by, he said, I was fighting like how we used to do the roosters when or chicken fighting, or whatever he said, like how he learned how to fight like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And he was just an athlete, like, to do that. And then you bring it back to Marvin Hagler, who's one of my dad's favorite. Like, I remember as a kid, this was way before my time, so I watched recorded videos of him versus the Hitman. And that round, they looked like they wanted to kill each other. Like, was it round? What round was that? Was it round 2?
Man, it was like a 3-round fight or something like that. But the fact that these boys was out for blood, I think Hitman broke his hand that fight.
And it's one of those things where, like, I hope people respect Spence in that same vein, Spence Crawford. People don't respect it in that same vein because I kind of feel like Spence was going for broke in a similar fashion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
Like, it was bad. Like, they were going at it. Like, it was.
Strap in the Matrix right now.
I was like, is that me? Is that
Strap is in the Matrix?
Oh,
Yeah,
man. You gotta get out of there.
Definitely Hagler Hearn. Yeah,
And,
I'm
you back? You back with us?
And my dad would tell me, like,
he telling his own story over there.
I'm gonna send him down
and then bring him back in.
I thought I was. Let me see.
As you doing that, I watched the Hagler fight. Oh, it was a fight before he fought Sugar Ray Leonard. Hearns Mugabe. That is a great fight to watch. I mean, not Hearns, excuse me. Hagler Mugabe. Marvin Hagler versus John Mugabe. Man, that is an amazing fight to watch if anybody wants to check out another fight, because Mugabe gave Marvin Hagler the blues, but it let me know how tough he was. He was able to get him out of there. Man, that's remind me of what's another fight? Ernie Shavers. No, was it Ernie Shavers? George Foreman versus was it Ernie Shaver? Did they fight? Some of them heavyweight fights back then kind of gave me the same energy of Hagler Hearns. Are we back?
We back. I forgot to pay my internet bill.
Hey, stay in the game.
My internet is moving like Mayweather versus Gotti right now. It's crazy.
Oh, man.
Internet.
It's crazy.
Now you was talking about Hagler Hearns.
Where did I stop? Like, where did it cut me off?
Boy. About how they were going for broke. Just
yeah, them dudes was not. They gave the best to the sport. They gave their best to the sport. You could tell these were two fighters that, of course, respected each other. But why I love the Hitman and I love Hagler, because I was not there at that time, but going back to see like revisionist videos, even on YouTube till today, you will see those videos of how they practiced or trained for fight camp. And Hagler, bro, he was mentality. He was running up like a mountain, cold as hell, screaming,
and
war.
boots. Yeah.
War. Remember, you see that video? War. And I'm like, yo, he's crazy. He's crazy. Dude, he's crazy. Like, yo, and that's something you don't see with, fighters nowadays. Everybody's smiling. Everybody, buddies. Like, I'm going to fight my friend. And it's okay. It's okay to be, because they grow up together fighting Golden Gloves, and they travel, and they do Pan-African games together, fighting for the U.S. These especially elite fighters, they've been fighting around each other. Like they said, Garcia and Davis had fought how many times before they fought?
Haney. It's about Devin Haney.
Sorry.
Yeah, they had
several fights, and they know each other so well, and it's just a tough sell for fights. Like back then, it was different, man.
I don't think it's different from like these guys in the amateur circuit. They run into each other even back then. Yeah.
Even Tyson and Lennox Lewis knew each other from the amateurs.
Yeah, when they were young. So a lot of these elite guys run into each other. It's these late risers that may not have that familiarity with some of the elite talent. But a lot of these guys, the boxing world's be very small, because a lot of guys are sparring in gyms and similar coaches or tournaments or all the above. But I mean, hopefully we can get to seeing some fights where there's like mutual respect, but legit bad blood. I mean, it's combat sports at the end of the day. Like, you don't think that Hagler, Hearns don't respect each other. But they didn't like each other.
Oh, they respect the fuck out of each other.
Yeah, but
give me for
you gotta pray to YouTube. But no, like even like Spence and Crawford, like
I'll tell you, we'll go ahead and hit that point.
Well, like there was a lot of respect, but it wasn't like I'm coming for your head. Like it was like, appreciate you, bro. Give me the fight. Yeah. Appreciate you. And then
Here go one. Plant and Caleb Plant versus one of the twins, one of the Charlotte.
Oh, that needs to happen. Yeah. That needs to happen.
You see what I'm saying? Like this is why I always say, and Strap knows I got a lot of respect for
the one that he slapped or the other?
That part. Yeah. The one that he slapped. I mean, come on now.
Let's make that.
I can see that. You know what I mean?
We need that.
If that happens, what's like? What
is it?
Isn't he like on sabbatical, like because of I don't know health or something? I don't know.
What'd you say?
If that happens, I'll be. Isn't he like on sabbatical? Like he's on like leave because of mental health or something? Or something that he's dealing with, like
at 168 or which one is he? Is he 154? 154.
160, 154.
160, 154.
Jamel, I believe.
Gotta get the names right, but
he's the undefeated one. The one that is on a sabbatical right now. He's not trying to fight because he has some stuff that I only want to talk about his stuff on air because I don't know. It's just he's not fighting.
Right.
But
he gonna pop back up when it's time for a payday though.
Oh yeah, he knew that because he was so we had Jermell fought Canelo September 30th, 2023. So I thought it was longer than that, but yeah. So he fought Canelo. That was felt like a long time doing it.
There's a good example.
You know what's funny?
There's a good example of somebody not going for broke. Just
surviving
and collecting a paycheck. But I mean, hey,
But you know what's funny is
Hello, so.
Jamel is actually friends with Caleb Plant. Yeah. They're you slap my twin brother, but you're friends with the other guy. Like you friends with my twin brother. I mean, you slap you know what I mean.
My people. Cool. You put hands on my people. It should be it's boxing. Y'all fighters.
It should be some back like why would you slap my twin brother? Like, yeah. But anyways, Caleb is fire though. Caleb is nice. Is nice, but I don't know. His fights, man. The thing I like about Caleb is the thing I don't like about Caleb too. He's fighting everyone who is legit. He gives us the fights that we need. Who else does he have to fight? Unless Billy Joe.
He's stuck.
Can he fight Billy Joe?
He's stuck. Nah, he's fighting another guy on the Canelo undercard coming up. He just stuck. The fight we already seen that fight. He reached his heights. He fought everybody. Unless we resurrect a Triple G. I don't know. What's next for Caleb? I mean, he hasn't fought Benavidez, I don't believe. I mean,
Benavidez, No, he fought Benavidez.
No. Yeah, he fought Benavidez. Yeah.
He fought Benavidez.
That was the last fight in March of 2023.
It was a good fight. And he did he showed us, Benavidez said that was the hardest person he fought to this day.
Okay.
So
when he was slippery. So, okay, he's fighting the Trevor McCumbee, who's 28-0, 21 knockouts, U.S. fighter fighting out of Arizona. Notable wins. I'm not seeing anyone that's going to ring a bell from that standpoint, but he does have a fight on that, like you said, that undercard on September 14th.
You know, he's a test for like the Mbili, you know, his measuring stick. You know, we might see him Jaime Munguia. I don't know if he fought Munguia yet, but
Nah, that'd actually be a good fight. And Billy, like, cause I think Caleb Plant got a lot of skills, man. He's tough. He got a lot of footwork. He has a high IQ.
Yeah.
Do you think
that would be a good fight?
He just trails towards the end, those later rounds. You know, can he stick and move? And
yeah, that's his game.
Danny J.
He gets out. He's a front runner, right? He's a front runner. He passed the stats in the front of the fight in those early rounds, and then he hangs on for dear life at the end of the fight.
Yeah, you got some tough recent competition, but I mean, if he's fighting, I'm definitely tuning in. That's somebody that I'm definitely trying to see what he got going on. Just because he's standing on all 10. You know, he's going out there getting his best effort. And you really can respect guys that are in the game like that. So
absolutely. And so as long as he's fighting, you know, he got my respect. So
yeah, I think we must have lost. Strap must have.
Here we go. You ready?
I'm right here. I'm for some reason,
I got you,
internet is moving crazy. But yeah, you guys are absolutely right. Mbili, you guys are talking about Mbili possibly being a good matchup with Plant, and I agree.
I mean, these are prospects, right? Like this dude is a prospect. We're gonna find out, is he a contender? You put a prospect versus a contender, you know?
Right.
So.
Right, because I mean, we'll see what we saw against Derevchenko. We need to see some more.
It's going to get to a point where Plank has so much experience. He's had so many title fights that even an Mbili may struggle with a Plant. Like Caleb has fought so many great fighters. Like, and his resume is illustrious. That
he's in that Luis Ortiz lane.
Yeah, he's
probably better than Ortiz's resume wise.
The only person that made him or broke his will was Canelo. Mm-hmm. That's the only person, and he gave Canelo a hard time. I feel Caleb still has a title fight in him, rather than him being a gatekeeper or you got to go through me to go to meet the king of the hill, right? Type of dude.
Yeah, I think he puts like these promoters want. He puts butts in seats, and people like me are going to be tuning in.
Just flashy enough, right?
Let's do Desert Plan 2.
Nah.
You don't want to see that again?
Nah.
I respect it. In
that fight, for me, I felt like Caleb Plant felt a little unmatched, felt his power, and really spent a lot of the fight trying to survive. Which I'm not like mad at or anything like that. It was just, I thought, for me personally, watching him fight Benavidez, I thought he could have performed a little better, but maybe he felt something in the ring. And when you see the fight, he's trying to avoid and stay away from his power a lot of times. And, you know, we see Benavidez, you know, put a lot of guys out, so you can't really be mad at that.
What weight category is Eubank Jr.?
I thought 160, 154.
Well, he's big.
Yeah, one of those classes, but we haven't heard anything from him in a while.
I think there's a David. I'm trying to make sure I'm not getting my names mixed up with baseball, but isn't there a David Castillo in the 68 that just moved up the 175?
David Castillo.
Does that sound right?
Let me see.
It's a Cuban fighter. Man, I can't.
We can check it right quick. Cause I got that's a different one right there. You got a Manny. Live research right here.
Hey, let's do that.
Right.
Who am I thinking of?
I ain't mad.
Basketball. No.
You got a Joe. Well, you got a guy. I'm speaking. This is somebody from a little back. Dude, you do have
David Morrell.
Yeah. Yeah.
David Morrell Jr.
He's causing problems.
So I think he campaigned at 68 for a while, and he's finally moved up to 75 because he couldn't get no love down there. So
he's dangerous. Still young, still hungry, and these Cubans, they are gonna put on a technical performance each time. You kind of have to put some work to get them out of there.
So we're finally gonna get Beater B versus Bivol, right? That's coming up here soon, correct?
The battle of the droids. They're both robots.
That might be a trilogy fight.
So, I mean, we can call that later on, but I've been waiting for that for a long time. Canelo kind of interrupted that.
Right.
Better Bull washes Bivol.
Ooh, damn.
I'm not giving my take. We got.
Yeah.
I'm going to be controversial for a little bit. But yo,
that's ways out.
I was looking into it. What happened to Conor Ben? Is he out of boxing forever after that drop when they caught him because he popped the chest?
He's like two tests back to back, right?
Yeah, he got caught. Because I was liking him up. He was kind of scary in that division.
But why was he scary though? That's what you gotta consider when
you must have traveled to Mexico. You must have traveled to Mexico and had some of that beef. Whatever they said that was Canelo was on.
Look, man. Look, my guys in the UK are they not out here right now. Except we do have Dubois versus Anthony Joshua coming up. It's actually I think. Was it today? I saw one of the boxing channels post this is a year anniversary of Dubois versus Usyk.
Oh wow! Yeah,
that's already a year ago.
Yeah,
and the body punch that wasn't a body punch. The low blow that to me wasn't a low blow.
We can also touch on another fight that happened. Remember, it was a midweek contest. Jarrett Hurd.
Oh man, we missed that one. Man.
Yeah.
Swift.
So I turned it on like it was on YouTube. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Trying to come back. So
wow.
That was a name. Like he was somebody to be reckoned with.
He just took a lot of damage. What was the result of that fight?
Good question. I just watched the last round.
Man,
but
that is
not
crazy.
a lot. Not a lot has changed because he doesn't have much defense to show for. Like that.
Yeah, he took a lot of damage, man. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought it was unnecessary. That last fight, that Wednesday night fight, was a draw.
Exactly.
That ended in a draw. So
yeah.
So last 6 fights, he's 2, 3, and 1.
He was riding high at one time.
He was, man.
And also Julian Williams, and that's when he kind of broke him down.
And so I remember that fight. Julian put together the perfect game plan.
Yeah, he was a professor that night. He was
perfect game plan.
He was sharp. He was smart. He did a lot since then. And then since then, Julian Williams hasn't really they didn't really give him any momentum that fight. Let me say that.
Yeah.
He's 2-3 since fighting Jerry Hurd in 2019.
Yeah.
So
I feel like Hurd tried to make a comeback fight in his hometown. Like came out with am I thinking of the same person with the Redskin jersey? Does that sound right?
Yeah. He's from Maryland. He's from Maryland.
And then he fumbled that fight. And it was like
he's been on exhibition fights too. Like he was trying to, get back, gather back his momentum back. Like it's just not working.
Yes, it hasn't been. I'm not sure what happened there, but because he was somebody that I'm tuning in to watch one of Jerry Hurd's fights.
It's not that we're not sure. It's just that when you find the hole in the defense, everybody picks that hole in the defense. It's a glaring hole. So that's all it is.
But we got another fight coming up on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday morning, that'll be the Monster.
Inuit.
He's fighting on a Tuesday at 2:30 a.m.
I wonder what the significance to that is. Tuesday.
I mean, I have no idea. That's wild, right? I mean, I don't know what the time difference
national holiday in Japan.
Maybe, man, but
it's gotta be. Like, why?
Check the undercard. The Barrios, the guy that technically was beating up on what's our man from Vegas? Rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Phantom TKO. He's on the undercard.
That's somebody that we forget about at 147. Like
he out here. He had a couple knockouts since beating Romero. So
he's just kind of there. Like,
look, he's out here getting work, getting paid. I believe he's a Venezuelan, and he's out here putting guys on the canvas at 147 years old.
He's tough.
He's really 41, but yeah, man.
He's doing the King Kong. What's his name?
Look, I was like, well, what was on Coming to America? He said Joe Lewis was 147 years old when he fought Rocky Marciano.
Yeah. Oh,
that was fun.
Oh, you might be talking about a different Barrios. I'm thinking about Mario.
I'm talking about the one that or is it Barrios? Or I do know he's on that undercard. Big ear, Venezuelan, fought Rolly Romero.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. I think I got his last name right.
Let me see.
He's our forgotten Barrios in the boxing world. Because you got
Nah, you absolutely right. That dude was tough.
Yeah, man. I mean, bro,
Ishmael Barroso.
Excuse me, Barroso. Okay.
Yeah, that dude was tough.
Yeah, man. He got here. Look, check his box rec. He got knockouts since he fought Romero. I mean, he's on undercard. So Tuesday morning. I'll probably be up. I'll probably be with the newborn.
Hey, I'm so happy for you with that process. Hopefully, that happens and
any minute,
peaceful and calm. Because I know folks that when it happens, they have to like run through traffic and do all sorts of stuff. I had a friend of mine tell me like he had to hit up the police station to let them know, if I'm cruising this speed, just know. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah. And also, he had a little bit of white privilege. He was a white boy. He told me, he had to let the city police know that he's going kind of like cruise and get to where he has to get to because of the baby and stuff.
Was this back in Emporia?
No, it was.
That's never been.
Yeah.
Speaking of, man, did y'all have concerts in Emporia? Man, Waka Flocka was just in Emporia.
When?
And then he pulled up. Then he pulled up to Old Town over the weekend.
Wow.
Waka Flocka.
I saw T-Pain in Emporia.
Yes, T-Pain was in Emporia at one time.
That was a great show. Like, I was amazed at how Like he could sing, like bro. And I had to keep saying, like, bro, we in Emporia, like middle of Kansas, and T-Pain is out here putting on a hell of a show.
Oh man.
Yes. Yeah. We had
random. Kurt Cobain came through one time.
Cobain, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think he got into a fight here in Wichita too. After that.
Wow.
Yeah. World star.
Right. I'm sure it's on there. It's in a deep dive.
Oh no, it was on there. It was definitely on there.
With these upcoming fights, right? Do you think an upset is about to happen? So you went through all those fights. You went to Inoue. You went to the Canelo fight. You went to the Du Bois and Joshua fight, and the Bivol to Jake Paul and it's Mike Tyson, and Usyk, Tyson Fury too, right? Do you smell upset?
I'll give you one.
Okay. We concluding this. I want to hear your last takes on this.
Because I think that Better Beef is the more dangerous man. But I also think he has holes in the defense. So I felt like this for a long time. So
man.
Things change over time, but that was my take.
What does Better Beef go by? At Twitter? Sorry, LT.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I mean Kam Gee. Sorry.
I think the Anthony Joshua Dane Dubois fight can go either way. I feel like it's a 50-50 fight. UK fight card. We just talked about being a year away, year anniversary of Usyk versus Dubois, excuse me. And that was a fight that he honestly could have won. Yeah. Could have been heavyweight champion of the world. We don't even have a Usyk Fury 2 right now. I could see him upsetting somebody like Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua's been acting different lately. So if he comes in like that, this man has been throwing his right hand, how he's been throwing it recently, his recent performances. I mean, I think it's gonna be a great fight regardless.
Think about how
it's not going 12. I know that.
How wild is the heavyweight division where Francis Ngannou came in and knocked down Tyson Fury and arguably beat Tyson Fury.
Man.
And then Anthony Joshua comes in and puts Francis Ngannou to sleep.
Whew.
Like how
violently.
How wild is the heavyweight? Like the parody.
That's heavyweight boxing. Like that's it right there. Like you might get put on your ass, but that is the epitome of the division because it's very unpredictable. Because one punch could change history. I don't want to fight history like ridiculous. So
let's build a scab. Anthony Joshua has a better resume than Fury. Let's look at who Fury fought. And even if he fought more people, but what brought Fury? I mean, yes, he did fight the Klitschko. He fought Klitschko, yes. But besides,
Klitschko, they both fought Klitschko.
Yeah, both fought Klitschko. He did. But Joshua's claim to fame was Deontay Wilder. Let's remember, Deontay Wilder was supposed to destroy. Fury's claim to fame was Deontay Wilder because Deontay Wilder, if you remember, was riding high. He was supposed to destroy a Fury who came from his sabbatical dealing with depression and mid-game and surprised the world and drew.
That was
let's remember that. Let's remember that. Yeah, let's remember that Fury has not really been tested. And when he fought the big Finnish guy, or I forgot, the Scandinavian guy who took him all the way out and he had the eye cut and he had to run the whole fight, Fury has been suspect for a lot of fights.
Oh, yeah.
You remember?
He barely made it out of that fight. He
barely made it out of that fight. He had an eye cut by that. And that's the same guy Wilder knocked out.
My opinion is this is that Fury has gotten away with a lot of holding and a lot of leaning and a lot of dirty tactics. That's just my opinion. And I think people turn a blind eye because it's the heavyweight division.
People were quick to laud Fury after that Wilder fight, and I'm like, who have you really fought, bro? Like I'm looking at your resume. It's yes, you have fought more fights than Joshua and not more than Wilder, but like Joshua fought some real people, and he made it out those fights victorious. Yes, he got beat by Andy, but he atoned it and came back and won. Yes, he got beat 2 times by Usyk. So did he, and he got beat convincingly by Usyk more than Joshua did. So, like Tyson Fury almost got knocked out by Usyk. Remember that? Like we forgot how bad Usyk got Tyson Fury. Like it was bad.
He also returned from the dead against Deontay Wilder. Like
he did. He's
been put down.
So
Cam, I mean, we kind of glossed over what I said. What do you think, Cam? How do you feel about Fury as a talent, I guess, or a skill?
I mean, he's definitely one of the better heavyweights, but yeah, I do agree with, because for my assessment of Deontay Wilder is great puncher, not a great boxer. So you fight him 3 times when you in your field of opponents is very narrow. During that 3 times, we know boxers aren't fighting very frequently, especially at the heavyweight division. So we get a trilogy with Deontay Wilder. You fight a Derek Chisora. You fight a Dylan White. You fight a Francis Ngannou. I don't think any one of us were thinking like, man, this guy is, sweeping the division, taking those type of fights. So I was not really surprised seeing the result. There was one moment in the Usyk fight where I felt like, okay, this could go Tyson Fury's way because he's the bigger man, but ultimately Usyk's skills allowed him to control that fight. I didn't agree with the split decision. That was to me unanimous decision win for Usyk, and I think we'll see the same thing again. He's just sharp. Speaking about Usyk, just sharp, great boxer, southpaw, gives him problems. You saw Tyson Fury switching styles during the fight, which we never see from him. I think that Usyk just is in a class of his own as far as the skill he can bring right there. So, can't wait to see the fight. Excited to see what's going to happen after the fight, though, because we seeing these heavyweights that we just saw, a few weeks ago. I want to see some of those guys get into the mix and see these matchups materialize, and see Usyk get some different styles and see how great a champion he really is. Because I don't think he's going to back down from any of those challenges. Whether it's probably you get a Joshua, maybe a Dubois again. You got Big Baby out there. I don't know if he gets a title shot off of a draw with Andy Ruiz.
I see Usyk sailing into I see him fading into the sunset.
I can see that because it looks dangerous. You fight boy from the DRC. Hey man, that's a dangerous fight. 284. Yeah. So I mean it's cool, but yeah, you're probably right. He may take one more fight. I can see him taking one more fight to really try to test his greatness. But after that, yeah, I think the heavyweight would be up for grabs, and that'd be really exciting.
Yeah, and it's exciting because Usyk is still undefeated, and a guy that really climbed he built himself up from apparently in the amateurs. Him and Sean Porter used to fight together or fought against each other, because imagine Usyk fighting Sean Porter, like that doesn't even make sense. Like
he came a long way.
He was not that big. Like he's a cruiserweight, but like he fought Sean Porter in the amateurs. That's crazy to even think about. But anyways, it's been another great episode.
Yes, sir.
Who's fighting? Like we have to say this with this YouTube thing: like, subscribe, leave a comment. We need this for the algorithms.
Say something.
Say something. Disagree, agree. Give us some jewels, something that we may have missed or said wrong. Correct Strap when he says the wrong last name. Hey, all engagement we love. LT, Kam Gee. You already
Who's
know
fighting?
who's fighting.